right, here's a little something to tickle your funny bone before we dive right in. Why don't scientists ever trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Now that's a classic, isn't it? But let's get serious. Or rather, let's get funny. Today, we're going on a journey through the ages, tracing the footsteps of jesters and jokers, all to find out who was the very first comedian in the world. We begin our journey in ancient Greece around the 5th century BC. Comedy as an art form was born here, starting with Aristophanes, the master of old comedy. He penned down plays that were rich with political satire and slapstick humor. Picture this: a world where politicians are ridiculous caricatures and the common man is the hero. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Fast forward to the Middle Ages, where jesters were the life of the party in royal courts across Europe. They were quick-witted, sharp-tongued, and had a knack for physical comedy. They could juggle, dance, and recite funny poems. But don't get it twisted. Being a jester was no laughing matter. They were the only ones who could mock the king and live to tell the tale. Then came the Renaissance, where comedy took center stage, quite literally. Commedia dell'arte troupes performed lively improvised plays. Characters like the cunning servant Arlecchino and the pompous old man Pantalone kept audiences in stitches. As we move into the 19th century, the spotlight shifts to the vaudeville stage. Here, stand-up comedy as we know it today started to take shape. Performers like Frank Fay began delivering monologues, spiced up with a mix of anecdotes, jokes, and witty observations. Then, the 20th century rolled around, and comedy leapt off the stage and onto the silver screen. Silent film stars like Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton had audiences roaring with laughter without uttering a single word. Their physical comedy was pure genius. In the late 20th and early 21st century, comedy found a new home on television with sitcoms and late-night shows. Comedians like Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers, and Eddie Murphy pushed boundaries, tackled social issues, and made us laugh until we cried. To wrap things up, comedy has come a long way since the days of Aristophanes. From the stages of ancient Greece to the screens of Netflix, humor has evolved, adapted, and survived, just like us. The first comedian in the world may have been a Greek playwright, a medieval jester, or a Renaissance performer. But one thing's for sure: they paved the way for the comedy we know and love today. So the next time you share a laugh, remember, you're part of a tradition that goes back thousands of years. And that, my friends, is no joke. Friends, is